It's a public holiday on Monday, the 16th of December 2024, and racing takes us to Turffontein, where we've got a 10-race program with the headliner being Mike de Kock Ipitombi Challenge. This is a grade 2, and looking forward to the action on at Turffontein on Monday, and we've got the Sun Chariot Handicap as well. 10 races to look forward to, and joining me on the line is Alistair Cohen. Alistair, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Rahil. Obviously on the back of the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas, which was unbelievable. Great day, great race. One strap giving Rakesh Sugalam and One World their first Grade 1 winners respectively. Vaughan Marshall is 6th Guineas. Gavin Arena on board, found the horse a good 6 months ago. Obviously his friendship with Rakesh got him the ride, and he's obviously done wonders for Vaughan Marshall in that space and culminating in this brilliant Grade 1 win. I thought 8 on 18 Great Plains and Outeniqua, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, ran brilliant races. I thought overall it was a fantastic day's racing, and that's another 3rd Grade 1 in the South African calendar, the 2nd in the Cape Summer Festival up in Lutz. And as for this card on the public holiday, he spots on public holiday Monday. Very, very good card. Some big names, Main Defender, Dice, Silver Sanctuary, Fiery Pegasus, they all line up at Turffontein on the Monday. It almost looks like these races have been put on to potentially warm a horse up for Cape Town races, for the likes of the Cape Flying, maybe a Lomaral King's Plate. I don't know what Main Defender's plans are. We'll talk about all that as the show wears on. But with obviously no huge races in Joburg coming for a few months, nice to get a few bit of mileage on the clock for some of these big names.
Well, race number 1 is the second juvenile plate up in the Highveld for the season, and it is over 800 meters. 12:15 is the off time, and Tony Peter holds a very strong hand here. Caroline Island at 13-10, Rashi at 18-10. Number 1, Bingo. Roy Magna and Trent Mayu team up. This 2-year-old son of Rafif has found a bit of support. 5-1 into 33-10. Zakatu at 9-2. And then you've got the bottom 2 at double figure odds. The 3 from the Tony Peter yard, they all ran on top of one another on debut behind Glastonbury, and you would expect that there wouldn't be a lot to choose between them once again.
And they could all be improving at different rates. I mean, that's going to be a cliche used for the next few months. It's probably an annoying cliche, but it is true as well. I mean, just to go through it, there's 2 lanes between Zakatu and Caroline Island with Arashi in between them. And there's no guarantee that they'll run to form, because who knows who's come on, who's learned from the experience, who was that forward first time out that they kind of ran nearly their career best and need to find a weak field to get out the maiden. So I just want to start with this first timer who, as you say, Rahil, has found support. Bingo, the half-brother to Katiwe's Destiny, an above-average horse trained by Michael de Kock. Trent Mayhew takes it out for Roy Magna. The Capnias boys have now got a horse with Mr. Magna, which you wouldn't really expect. Let's see how he goes down. Let's see if there's a follow-through as far as the market is concerned coming into race number 1. It is not part of the exotics, but he remains of interest. I think number 6, Caroline Island, will retain the form when you consider that she ran the finish out of Arashi last time. Arashi showed that cheap speed, didn't quite go on with it, hung also over the closing stages, might have just been a tired horse. I think that I'd rather see a horse hitting the line rather than showing that cheap speed. So in order of preference, I think that maybe the 3rd and 4th horses might turn it around, with number 1 being of interest. So 6, 4, 5 with number 1 being absolutely anything in the opener.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be an exacta to play in race number 1. Race number 2, Sun Chariot Handicap over 2,400 meters. And here the favorite is number 1, Explosive Bond, even money. 4-1 United Council, 9-2 One Religion. Apache Fighter and Fetch and Flyer both at 5-1. And then you've got numbers 4, 7 and 8 at 33-1 and 66-1. Now this filly Explosive Bond, she's had to settle for second best behind Poet's Warrior at her last 2 starts. She drops in class, but she's got a big weight to carry of 61. Alistair, if she is to get rolled over, I think this horse Apache Fighter, who, if I'm not mistaken, was a winner of this race 2 years back, and then last year things went wrong for her, but we know that she gets the trip, and with a decent pull at the weight, she would be the type of horse for me that I'd be looking to oppose this favourite with.
We've sort of read it the same way, Rahil. Obviously, 3 trainers represent just the 8 runners on the Sun Chariot Handicap. So I'd recommend to watch the scratchings, because there are a few that are well under sufferance and literally look like they're making up the numbers. Explosive Bond is an easy horse to tip. She's draw number 1. She seems to be down in class. She's running against her own sex as well for the first time in a while. But what worries me, Raheel, is that in all these pinnacle plates and all these long distance races that she's been running in, she's been weighted an absolute good thing, and she's failed to get the job done. She's had no weight on her back, and now she's got a lug round 61 kilograms. Put it like this, I don't think she'll miss the top 2, but could I have a bet on a horse that's had a lot in her favour on paper in her last few starts? No. She wouldn't be winning out of turn. She'd probably be the most deserving horse of a win in the race. Gets the services of Rachel Veneker, who retains the ride. I mean, for me, Poet's Warrior is just simply a better stayer than Explosive Bond. Never mind what the handicapper and the assessment and the structure of those races suggested. But I do have time for Apache Fighter. You're right, she did win this race 2 years ago. Roy Magna trains. When she ran in the race a year ago, she returned in season. She's obviously a lot better than that. Trent Mayhew is on board. And I think number 2, United Council, is also just worth a second glance. She did win this race last year. Did United Council, won the Sun Chariot under Samango Kamalo. She hasn't won since. She's been a bit stop-start in her career since then, but it's not impossible that she goes quite close. An interesting race. Like I said, first leg of the bar pot, I would bank a number 1 Explosive Bond. I don't see her missing the top 2, but there are winning chances other than her.
Yep, number 1 Explosive Bond, even money, but you've got number 2 United Council at 4-1 and Apache Fighter at 5-1 as a quite useful backup. Moving along to race number 3 next. This will jump at 1,000 meters, maiden plate. Favorite is number 1 Espinoza at 18-10, Jet Karari 22-10. Number 6 at 7-2, Lonely as a Cloud 14-1 into 10-1, Panthera Unsi at 10s, and then it is 16-1 and better. While those you can scratch number 7. So it's a field of 11 runners that remain for this race. Now, this horse Espinoza, Gavin Lerena back in the irons, and he ran in a race last time out that you would expect to work out, given that there were plenty of nice horses that took on one another, but he's got that gate number 1 to deal with, and we know on the standside track that's probably not a positive. You'd like to have a high number draw.
Yeah, that's what worries me. He's the right horse on paper, Raheel, no doubts about that, number 1 Espinoza. I'm also a little bit dicey about the drop in distance. I know that he's run well over 1,000 meters, but those form lines aren't great. Look, what form lines are great in this race? The answer is none of them. But the inside draw, and also with the fact that he might have to work across, there is a forecast of a bit of drizzle around on them. It's not going to threaten the race meaning by any stretch, but there is a threat of drizzle, and there was obviously quite a bit of rain on Saturday. For those that would have been cricket or rugby fans, they didn't bowl a ball at the Wanderers, and the rugby was stop-start between the Lions and Poe and the Challenge Cup. So there has been rain around Joburg, and that exacerbates the issue from draw number 1. But when you shop around, who was the right one? Obviously, 7's a scratching. He made a little bit of appeal. 8, Jet Karari, very pleasing debut, but that wasn't a work riders. We know that those form lines generally aren't the strongest around, but Jared Penny takes right for Tony Peter. I think Jared's always worth an extra point or 2 as far as the market is concerned. I'm a big fan. Future Nair, bred for further, but he doesn't have to be all that hot to win. He's a son of Futura out of Lala, who was trained by Doug Campbell, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely ran in Albert Rapp's colours. So watch the market of number 6, Future Nair. He makes his debut. And then number 3, Lonely as a Cloud. I mean, he's no great shakes. He's down to a sprint, which might be the office. He does show a lot of pace. I can't give any confidence on number 3, Lonely as a Cloud, because he's also got an inside draw. It's a very, very tricky opening leg of the place accumulator. I'll tell you what the key is. The market on number 6, Future Nair. Any support, he'll get promoted up to the top choice. But as it stands, I'm going to default to 1 and 8, and maybe even number 10, Patera Untia, but with absolutely no degree of confidence.
Yep, let's see how race number 3 does unfold. Race number 4, start off the pick 6. This is an MR74 handicap, set to be around over 1,400 meters. And 2 o'clock is the off time. Your favorite here, number 2, Blizzard Snow, and number 3, Bus Stop in Hounslow, both trading at 2-1. 4-1, number 7, One Party, Rattlebag at 9-2. It's an 8-1 and better. Bar those. Scratch number 4, Just VAR. Now, number 2, Blizzard Snow, last time out, she made some headway, but didn't really get involved. And then this horse, Bus Stop in Hounslow, for me, Alistair, I think he's a horse to beat. Straight him in the irons. His last run was a cracking performance against Troy Sonada, and he's gone up to 2 points, but that was against a lot stronger, so it is a drop in class, and I think that this horse sets the standard here.
Well, Raheel, it's the first leg of the pick six. The pick six is my suggested bet, and I think this is the toughest race on the card. I agree. Number 3, Bust Up and Hounslow is my top choice. I think that his first run out the maidens was excellent. That was in a 3-year-old handicap, as you say, behind Trisonada. There were highly rated horses in and around. The second horse is a horse called Grey Jet, trained by Warshall Mowing. I think that's going to win races. I think he might sneak into some feature races. Win them, I don't know, but he's definitely got the credentials to step forward. And Bust Up and Hounslow acquitted himself very well last time, straight out the maidens. Grant Maroon likes the son of New Predator. And after his last run, I thought he was, maybe, on the mediocre side. But that was a very impressive last run. For me, he's down in class. He's definitely down in class. He's got more weight to carry as a result. But with Pierce Stratham on board, he's going to get every assistance from the saddle. And I am going to tip him on top. Number 2, Blizzard Snow, I've got in because she's lightly raced. But I don't know, over this trip, 1,400 meters, Mother was an out-and-out sprinter, was Blizzard Bell. I think it was Lyle Hewittson's first winner as an apprentice. Beating Jilted is no real feather in the cap. As you say, did make up ground, a bit of ground last time behind We Will Rock You, but this is going to be harder for me. I see this more as an experiment rather than a well-calculated decision, but she might be able to do it. She's in, like I said, because she's got a little bit of scope to improve. I've got number 1, Rattlebag in with Rachel Vineker's 1.5 kilo claim. I liked her last run enough. She stayed on strongly behind MK's Dreams over this course and distance. I think that'll stand her in good stead. She might be a step better. In fact, she's definitely a step better on the inside track, but her last run was encouraging enough to give her a vote of confidence. And the 2 Tara and Zaki runners, they've got me stumped here, Raheel, because I prefer number 6 Lebeccio over number 5 Lava Fire, but stable choice goes to Pilasande Oli, and he's on number 5 Lava Fire, who in a million years can't beat Bust Up and Hounslow with the weights. But I look at Lebeccio and think 3rd run after arrest, his first run back behind Just Var. Just Var was standing his ground. You'd probably tip him on top, and then Lebeccio would make a lot of sense as a valuable piece of backup. So from that point of view, I do respect the jockey arrangements. I might have completely overcomplicated it, but I've got both the Zaki runners in numbers 5 and 6. If you were looking for one more, it would be number 7 One Party. Her last one was good from an outside draw down the straight, but over this trip, got a question mark. I know she won over 14.50, but she just looks like that filly that might be a little bit better down the straight. She would be a bit of backup, but I've settled on 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6.
Well, number 5, Lava Fire, could be the bomb result that you are looking for in the first leg of the pick 6. Currently trading at 25 to 1 in the market. Let's see how he goes, but perhaps the 3 horse could be the ideal roving banker in race number 4. Race number 5 next up, and the 5th race on the program is set to be around over 1,400 meters. This is a progress plate. 14:35 is the off time. It's the start of Jackpot 1, and number 1 Red Bomber tops the boards at 2 to 1. Taxi to the Moon 5 to 2, the Specialist 7 to 2, Truth at 5 to 1, along with Storm Brasco, and Prince of Kildare is at 8 to 1. Now it's a very, very nice race, this progress plate. Lots of decent sorts taking on one another, and Truth was set to run, I think it was last week, if not the week before, but unfortunately was scratched, and I saw it was reported eye injury. But before I get your thoughts on Truth, Alistair, I want to get your thoughts on this horse, the Specialist, because in my opinion, I don't think he's trained on as a 3-year-old, but what's your thoughts here?
Oh, who knows? He's hard to crack, isn't he? Second at grade 1 level, Raheel. That's how good he can be. He's completely dropped the bundle up on the half-alt. But with that said, if he does rock up and show his best, he's likely to win the race. He's hard to have confidence in the moment. He's running Summer Cup Day. Look, he finished in front of the horse of the year, Dave the King, but that was a weird race because we had Fire and Flames of a very lowly rating run miles above and so many horses run below. So who knows what to expect with number 4, the Specialist. He did hold an entry in the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas, but obviously Sean Terry decided to keep him at home. Sean has got a string in Cape Town. I think it's about a 10-strong string. We saw Litigation make his local debut on Saturday. So the Specialist stayed at home. And I'm sure he'll target a couple of races. I mean, he's obviously good enough to compete in races like they got the Greenlight Stakes at the start of the year, but he's had a few very indifferent runs as the son of the United States. Maybe he hasn't trained on, who knows? But if he does remember who he is, then he could be the horse that they all need to beat. Number 1 on the card, Red Bombers at the top of the boards. Gavin Larena takes a ride. Draw 1's going to be a big advantage. But he's not foolproof. I mean, I think he kind of just fits into that sort of that level maybe 2 divisions below the best. He's a chance. He's got good form to good horses, but the fact that he's got to give weight away for the first time in a while to this type of level makes he's a chance. But he's not a horse that I'd go to war with. Number 1, Red Bomber. I do have him in the play. I have to. Like number 5, Truth. I can tell you that after the Gold. Okay, let's go back a couple of weeks when Heather's Boy won. He did have an eye injury. Candice was absolutely distraught because she thought that he would give Heather's Boy a run for his money. But the fact that it was sort of the rail eye and he needed that for a little bit of guidance, couldn't take the chance. He couldn't open it. Something flew into his eye just as he arrived at Turffontein. He is doing very, very well at home. It's his first run as a gelding. Ignore everything at Hollywoodbets Greyville. The deep draw and the tight track did him absolutely no favours. And then last time in a sprint, Candice was actually happy with the run behind Gorgeous Klein. He's the reason why he's so sparingly raced because he never gets a draw, this poor horse. I mean, look here, he's drawn 6 out of 6. If it was 6 out of 12, you wouldn't bat an eyelid. In fact, you wouldn't bat an eyelid 6 out of 6 either. But the reason why he's nominated all the time and never runs, it's just an anomaly. And all sorts of queries have gone through to the powers that be, and they scratch their heads saying that's nearly impossible. He's doing very, very well. I'm going to be confident. I'm not going to make him a pick 6 banker because you have to respect the chances of numbers 1 and 4. But I think Truth will run a huge race. If he brings his best, and look at him at Turffontein standside track, he's 2 from 2, he's absolutely dotted up, then he's the most interesting horse in the race, and I'm going to tip him on top.
Yeah, I agree with you. I liked him last week. Well, the last time he was meant to run, I thought he'd give Heather's Boy a big run for his money, and I think that this is the right type of race for him to bounce back to his best form, and let's see how the Son of Heavenly Blue does go in race number 5. We're going to move along to race number 6 now. And the 6th race is the Pinnacle Stakes over 1,000 meters. 3:15 is the off time for this contest. Dice favorite, Warm Order favorite at 6-10. I Am Giant 9-2. Golden Sickle 6-1. It's 8-1 about rulership, and then it is 10-1 and better about those. Now, Dice and Golden Sickle top the best weighted column here. And this filly, Golden Sickle, they were more of an experiment at her last 2 starts, going 1,200 meters. And I don't think Hollywoodbets Greyville is a type of track that probably suits her. But back to the 1,000 meters, she's been given a lengthy rest. But she's a filly that's very, very good on her day. She ran 2nd in the computer form sprint behind Thunderstruck. And Alistair, this horse Dice is racing fit, and Pierre knows him well. He should be a very tough horse to beat.
Yeah, I think he will win Raheel. I know that Lucky Hudalakis has designs on bringing him to Cape Town for the Cape Flying Championship again, the race that he won last year. At the end of the day, he's grade 1 form against the only other grade 1 horse who comes back from a layoff. As you say, those 2 runs over 1,200 meters look like experiments. She's an out-and-out 1,000-meter horse. She's quick as grease lightning, but I think that might also set up Dice because Dice has got that turn of foot that makes him so deadly. He's a banker for me in all bets. I don't see him missing here. Pierce Stratham gets a tune out of the Son of William Longsword. Yes, it's obviously another prep going into it, but I mean, where else do you want to run the horse but these Pinnacle races that present themselves, and you can just keep him ticking over, earning and hopefully winning. So I think number 1 Dice will win. I have respect for 3 Mover and Shaker and 5 Golden Sickle. I suppose number 2 I Am Giant needs to qualify for that type of respectful category as well, but he's a grade 1 horse through and through. Number 1 Dice, I expect him to win as he continues his march towards Cape Town.
Yep, that is Dice in race number 6. Race number 7 next up. This is the headliner on the afternoon. Mike de Kock Ipitombi Challenge, grade 2 over 1,600 meters. 10-4 is the off time, and it is the start of Jackpot 2. Fiery Pegasus, your favorite, at 13-10. VJ's Angel at 2-1. White Pearl 5-1, it's then 8-1 and better bar those. Now these 2 thrills, they've got lots of ability, and VJ's Angel, a grade 1 winner. Fiery Pegasus, unfortunate not to get grade 3 success last time out when just nabbed in the shadows of the post behind the World of Alice. But Keratile Kacheri, he's ridden her once before, and he'll know this filly. On that last run in the Fillies Mile, Alistair, she should hold the edge over VJ's Angels, who is a kg bet off, but I think that these 2 should fight it out.
I'm with you, Raheel. I wouldn't quite go the 2-horse race route, but they are the 2 that I fancy. And And the reason why is because this race does generally favour 3-year-olds. They've got a great record in this race. The likes of War of Athena, etc., etc. I've called many 3-year-olds to win the Mike de Kock Ippy Tombi Challenge. Isn't it great that Michael's got a race named in his honour, obviously after the great Zimbabwean filly that won the Hollywoodbets Durbanville in 2002. I was actually chatting to Mike while he was in Cape Town, and Ippy Tombi came up for discussion. Busy man, Mike. Cape Town Saturday, Durban Sunday, Joburg Monday. He gets around, does our good friend. But just going back down this 3-year-old route, I think Fiery Pegasus does have the edge over VJ's Angel. They've met twice before. It's 2-0 to Fiery Pegasus. They met in the Betway Joburg Fillies and Mares Challenge, where Fiery Pegasus again was a bit unlucky. She looked all over a winner and just got outrun late by Celtic Rumours. They meet on identical terms, and VJ's Angels got 4 lengths to turn around. And then again on the last run, although VJ's Angels 1 kilo better off, there's 2.5 lengths to turn around, and Fiery Pegasus looked all over a winner. She made her move at the 600 and just got collared by World of Alice. I thought Fiery Pegasus was admirable in defeat in her last 2 runs. The full sister to Shango would probably be a deserving stakes winner here. So I'm going to go 8 from 7 as my top 2. But in the pick 6, I've got numbers 1 and 2. Silver Sanctuary is a grade 1 winner in her own right. She's a good filly. Obviously, her run in the Betway Summer Cup was all wrong. She's a lot better than that. Mike de Kock reporting in his column that she was a little bit quiet. He can't put his finger on it. And she's come back from the run very well. Her run in the Allied Steel Road on a Mission Mile covers her in glory, and it would make her a dangerous run in number 1 Silver Sanctuary for all the reasons given. And number 2, Let's Go Now. It might look like she hasn't quite been at her best. It might also look like White Pearl has her number on that last run, where Let's Go Now, although 2 kilos better off, White Pearl beat her. But White Pearl stepping up to 1,600 meters, I do have my concerns. And for me, Let's Go Now was doing her best work at the end. I think she's had a good prep. 3rd run after a layoff, better and stronger with each and every start. Draw 1's going to bring her alive. She's also a good filly. I've always thought Silver Sanctuary's a step better than Let's Go Now, but with a 2 kilo swing, not impossible Let's Go Now gets into the hunt. So I've got the 4 horses, 1, 2, 7, 8, but preference is for the 3-year-olds.
Yep, that is numbers 7 and 8, and it's going to be an interesting race, and let's see how it all unfolds. Race number 8 next. This is at 4:25, and it is a Pinnacle Stakes over 1,600 meters, and I must be honest, I didn't look at the markets prior to the show, and I see that 3 and 5 are scratched, but Main Defender 2 to 10 in the market. Wow. So Alistair, last time out, I think it was I'm not quite sure what was the thinking behind going 2,000 meters with this horse, but I'm sure that would have been the case for a lot of us, and more of an experiment than anything else. Back down in trip, and I think we'll probably see him campaigning between 14 and 1,600 meters for the rest of his career. He sets a standard here. He sets a very high standard, and given it's a Pinnacle Stakes, he looks incredibly hard to oppose here.
Yeah, 2 to 10 I think tells you the story. I can see why he ran the Betway Summer Cup, because why not? He probably deserved the chance to run in a grade 1 handicap. He obviously got bumped 3 times. Does that make any difference to the fact that he didn't win? No. I thought his run in the Betway Victory Moon was out of the top draw when just getting outrun by a horse who got 11 kilos from a Main Defender, was a winner 100 meters out. And that, I think, just goes back to your point, Raheel, in saying that between 14 and 1,600 meters, he is deadly. For me, he's so down in class. He basically has very little opposition. He gets the services of Gavin Larena, who obviously rode him in the Betway Victory Moon. And I think this race is just to keep him on the boil, to keep him going. The race presents itself. He's obviously well. Why wouldn't you run here? If he were mine, I would aim him at the Lomaral King's Plate. Can he beat Snow Pilot? Can he beat One Stripe? Well, that remains to be seen. That's why we're in racing, to see if he would be able to beat them. But I definitely think he's good enough to stand his ground and hold his head high, even if he didn't win. So as for this, the here and now, 1 Main Defender, banker in all bets. He should win. You're not going to get rich at 1 to 5, but that's the way that it is. And he'll help along, keep people interested, and he will bring a bit of a crowd to Turffontein on this public holiday.
Yeah, race number 8, all in with horse number 1, Main Defender. We move along to race number 9 next. Novice handicap over 1,160 meters. 5 o'clock is the off time. Favorite here, number 1, Bakwena at 12 to 10. Big Boy Bruce, 7 to 2. Drive Like a Master, 4 to 1. Saigon Susie, 8 to 1. It's in 10 to 1 and better by those. Now, This filly Bakwena, she made a real impression on debut when she won with Keegan DeMello, beating Hey Hey Julia. And must be honest, I expected her a lot better last time out, but she, I think she let the side down a bit. She beaten 3.5 lengths behind Gorgeous Klein. Gavin Larina takes her ride, and when you look for dangers, there's not a lot going on in this field here, Alistair. And I think that this filly is going to win a fair share of races. I think that she could be a horse going through the divisions, and I'd expect her to win a race of this nature.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Raheel. You know, when I look around and I see Bakwena, I know that she let the team down last time. They were disappointed with the run. I think that form line's not all that bad because Truth was just in front of her, and I'm tipping Truth a few divisions stronger earlier on in the day. Her debut win was superb. She didn't beat anything, but to the eye, she was absolutely brilliant. This daughter of Give Me the Green Light. Gavin Larina's now on board. She's back down the straight, which could well be the key. And I'd like to believe that, you know, like I said, when I was going through this race, I had a look and I thought, this is probably the type of race that lends itself to going with quite a few runners. But when you look at the form lines of all those horses around, there's absolutely nothing to get too excited about, unfortunately. And even though she gives a lot of weight away, I don't know, I think that she's just got more class. She deserves that weight, and I think that she'll come out on top. The only horse that I've got bracketed in the pick six is number 4, Big Boy Bruce. Barney Bronco's done a brilliant job with the son of Rabada. He was an absolute basket case. He didn't want to load into the starting stalls. He was dangerous. I've spoken to Melinda Toy, who comes up to Joburg and works with a few difficult horses at the pens, and he's worked with Big Boy Bruce countless times, and he's got this horse right. He's helped get this horse right, and the change of scenery's helped to no end as well, because he was with Lucky Hudalakas, but there were handlers who I know were scared of him, and he did all sorts of things, and now that he's got his head right, he's actually running nicely. His last run behind Confederate came over further. That didn't work out. He'll stick to sprints. He'll stick down the straight. He beat Hong Kong. Hong Kong won that Hot Maiden on Betway Summer Cup Day. So I've got number 4, Big Boy Bruce, in as backup if number 1 Bakwena drops her bundle, but I don't see it.
Yeah, number 1 Bakwena, the horse to beat in race number 9. We move along to race number 10 next. This is the final race on the program, 1160 meters the distance. It's an MR68 handicap. And number 2, Nazare, is at 4-1. Captain Efficient 5-1. Dancing Dora at 6-1. Twice as well. Written in Stone 7s, along with Delphi Dancer. It's then 10-1 and better bar those. Now the final race on the day, Alistair. It is the final leg of Jackpot 2. What would be your numbers here?
Oh, this is hard. Thank goodness it's not the final leg of the Big Six. Jackpot 2, I think that I'm going to sort of consolidate this to 3 horses that I want to talk about. Let's start with number 2, Nazare. Raymond Danielson gets on well with the son of Walter Winter, trained by Candace. He is definitely better on the inside track. He's not useless down the straight, but he's definitely better on the inside track. He'll go well. He's doing nicely. 3rd run after a break. His run to Wolf Mountain, who obviously ran a place in the Graham Beck Stakes, I think stands him in good stead. Last time he just didn't quite have the legs to get him home over 14.50. So he's definitely worth a glance down the straight. Put it like this, I think he'll be in the first 4. A little bit of luck to win the race, but he should go well. 3, Captain Efficient, I think, is a live chance. Gavin Larina takes the ride. The outside draw is going to help his cause to absolutely no end. His rating has come down a pound from a 70 down to a 69. He could be in the right place now. Number 3, Captain Efficient, I'll give him a winning chance. And number 8, Delphi Dancer, Raheel. I think she's got a bit of a chance as well. She might be underappreciated by the handicapper. Yes, the outside draw is the thing that really makes my eyes pop out, but last time behind Just Far is a horse that's continued along. I think he's got more wins to come. That was against male opposition. He's back against male opposition. Sorry, she's back against male opposition. And 3rd run after a pretty lengthy layoff. I think that she's alive. Barney Broncos did a good day at the races on Thursday as well, with a double with horses that have tried and tested and pretty much had better days behind them, but he's still got them ticking over. And Delphi Dancer has to be alive as well. So they're the 3 horses I'd focus my bets on, 2, 3, and 8. But the more horses you have on your final jackpot, the better.
That's race number 10. We're going to move along to the suggested bet now. And Alistair will take us through suggested bet for the 10 race program on Monday out at the Big T. And Alistair, take it away.
Yeah, expect the pools to be good on this Monday at the Big T, and the pick six starts at 2 o'clock. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 Rattlebag, Blizzard's No, Bus Stop and Hounslow, Lava 5, Any Price, and Labecchio. By 1 Red Bomber, 4 The Specialist, and 5 Truth. By Banker 1 Dice, by 1 Silver Sanctuary, 2 Let's Go Now, 7 VJ's Angel, and 8 Fiery Pegasus. By 1 Main Defender, and then 1 and 4 at the back by Quena and Big Boy Bruce.
That is the pick six that is set to get underway in race number 4 with 2 bankers. And Alistair, thanks very much for your time. It certainly looks to be quite a nice card on Monday, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. With these big names that are around now, to get around on a Monday on a public holiday and enjoy some good quality racing 2 days after a great Grade 1 day at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. And let's finish the year with a bang. Thanks, Raheel, and to all the racing viewers. Enjoy the week ahead.
Yep, thanks very much to Alistair Cohen. All the best with racing out at Turffontein on Monday.